Hi there, and welcome to Wits News, where we ask ourselves, what is this shit? I'm your host, Ole. Now let's get into some shit news. We got Lou Valentino here and General Michael Flynn. If you don't know who General Michael Flynn is, I'm sure you can figure it out. We'll open today with a small warning. I went to Walmart a little while, did a little bit of shopping, and came across this. I don't know if this is signs of stuff to come, but I guess it's time to hide a couple of chickens in the old garage there, isn't it? We'll have to hide them from the city. We're gonna start this show. We're about 40 minutes in. If you want to watch the whole thing, look him up. Lou Valentino. He's on YouTube. So General Flynn here, he's a good man. I've always respected what he's got to say. He's been fighting the swamp for a while. Anyways, let's hear it.
And number one, let's get this out the way. General Flynn, Vice President, right now, General Flynn, make the announcement. Tell the world that you will be Vice President in 2024.
Lou, you're funny. because I have operated at that level. Okay.
I like him and Vivek Ramaswamy. That'd be a toss-up choice for me.
I've operated around that circle. It is an honor. It is very, very serious issue, especially now, and it's a very difficult question to respond to answer. If a guy who is a front runner as a candidate running for president of the United States comes to you and says, I want you to consider being my vice president, right? Or the question then comes after he's looked at a group of them, and he comes back to you and says, I want you to be, my number two guy here, we're gonna fight this fight together. I mean, having been in that circle and understanding that, that's a very, very difficult question to say no to, right? And because it's an honor, my life is a life of service. I believe deeply in this country. I'm not, I don't want that. I don't want it. It's not something that I want. I actually don't want, I don't like politics. I don't like the kind of people that we are dealing with. But I think that's the point though, Lou. And I think that's why I got involved in the way that I got involved in, because I wasn't a politician. I was a soldier. And I don't want any of this stuff, but I saw our country go into shit, excuse my Irish. and so, we are, and now, if everybody that really paid attention to what happened to me, and then fast forward to right here and now where you and I are talking to each other, I mean, I haven't changed, so I ask, what has changed? What's changed? And because it's changed for the worse in many cases in our country. And we have the American people. If there's anything, if you could sprinkle fairy dust and, poof, what would you want? What would I want? I would want immediate restoration of trust by the American people in the government that we have. The people of this country, they have lost almost all faith and all trust in our government, particularly in the leaders that are in these decision-making organizations like defense, or like the Justice Department, or even in the White House. People have lost faith in government. And for a constitutional republic where it's a citizen-run system of government,
it completely feels like it's us versus them nowadays. I mean, maybe it's always been that way. And I don't know, maybe it's just the older you get, the more you realize that they were never working for you.
System of government, that's not a good thing. It's not a healthy thing. So, for me, it's about restoring faith and restoring confidence. And some of that, it takes toughness. It takes a discipline. It takes you to say, you know what, yep, you're right. Like if I look at you and you say to me something that I hadn't thought about, then I need to be able to allow my ego to take a step down and go, you know what, Lou, you're right. And it's not something that I thought about. We are going to take and look at that, and we're going to see if that fits into the scheme of moving this country forward. That's what we have to have in leaders. And I think we've had in politicians. So leaders and politicians are different. Politicians, they do this, right? They check the windage, which direction is the wind blowing. They also do this, you know, they look in their pockets to see, did you put something in my pocket, right? I mean, you got, right? I mean, they start looking at that, right? So that's politicians. And I'm going to tell you, it's in the political class of this country, what I just described jokingly is universal. And that has to stop.
That seems like the managerial class, right? As some call the deep state. I kind of want to get away from the deep state because I like to engage with everybody. I think deep state has just been overused. And I think the managerial class, those billionaires and all these companies and the lobbyists, I think are truly on the influence and on the same page as the World Economic Forum and this global consensus that they're trying to form. And I think that you are, I think that this is something that I've been seeing since I was a kid, growing up watching Alex Jones, right? I thought Alex Jones was crazy, but some of the things that I was like, man, this dude is on point. He's been speaking about this for a very long time. This is before, I was never Republican. First of all, this will be my first general election that I voted, right? And I'm going to vote for 45. And so he becomes 47. That's just me. And that's just, that's just where I'm at. Now, I know I don't have you for much longer, so I want to ask you one final question. I've seen your latest post about Obama. Obviously, you and Obama have a weird relationship from my research. You guys never met each other, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I know that he told Trump and things to don't hire Mike Flynn, all these different things, your history with Obama. Here's my question. I know a lot of people insinuate that because Biden is so he's just malfunctioning every other day. His words are slurry. He's not really, doesn't seem to be there. Is Obama behind? Because I hear this word, Biden. And I think, that's just like a conspiracy theory. I understand why people would say that. But the more and more I think about it, the more Michelle starts to talk and the more Obama starts to stick around. Is Obama behind? And also another question, is Michelle going to be the front runner? Or is she at some point going to step in? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have to pay attention to what Barack Obama said when he talked about having a third term. And everybody, I think, has seen that video clip. And he's very serious about that, right? You also have to look at the people that are in the administration right now, those that are in the executive branch of the administration right now that are sprinkled throughout all of the agencies, activities, departments, the commissions. A lot of them, I would say the majority of them are Obama people, right? So it's when Biden took over as president, the sweep of people coming back into the administration, and there's a lot of them are really from the Obama administration. So if there was a kind of a director, a puppet master, my take is just probably Barack Obama. And you have to ask yourself, why did he stay in Washington, D.C.? It's unheard of, and really throughout the history of the presidency goal, even going back to guys like Washington, so Obama stayed, he's right up the street. He's been in and out of the White House a lot. So he's been actually physically in the White House quite a bit. So why? Is he there advising Joe because Joe can't, to use your words, he can't, he slurs out what he's thinking, right? So, is he there in some capacity running the engines of America today?
White face. Joe Biden's just Obama's mask. White face.
And I would say from all things that I see, it is very clear that Barack Obama still has a major role in the course of what this country is going through right now. And as you said, when you see people like him, Michelle Obama, there's another one called Eric Holder, who's outside the government.
Wasn't Eric Holder the attorney general who got caught selling a bunch of firearms cartels below on the other side of the border? Isn't that who Eric Holder was?
And you see them coming out giving speeches and talking around the country. When you begin to see these people, they're doing that for a reason. They're doing that for a reason. Now,
she said she was scared. She said recently she came out. She said she was scared about 2024 election, which made me think, why are you saying that specifically? You know,
right? Well, because they know, like I said earlier, in normal times, you know, with the conditions that we have in this country, you know, I mean, anybody could win. That, you know, if they did the opposite or said the opposite of what this current administration is doing. So, and again, Trump is a known figure who's already been a very effective president. He had us down to $1.75 for gas, for example. You know, I mean, so now you asked about Michelle Obama. Here's my take, and here's what I think is going to happen. I think that the Biden administration, Biden himself, will go all the way up to the convention. So the convention will be in July. And you're going to see and hear more about some of the stuff that we're talking about, more of these people popping up and giving speeches and out there and doing stuff, particularly Michelle. And I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a contested convention in July, a Democrat convention that will be contested. I actually think that there might even be some of that for the Republican convention, but I think for sure.
Yeah, because RFK is going to be stealing a bunch of Trump votes. I've heard about that. Watch out for JFK, man. Fucking snake in the grass. I mean, he's got some good stuff, but he's kind of a climate Nazi from what I've read.
The Democrat convention will be quote unquote contested, meaning that, you know, they know that Joe can't win. Joe will make a decision. They're not big fans of Kamala Harris inside the White House. She's an unlikable person. She didn't even get up to 3% during the Democrat primaries when they ran in the primaries in 2020 timeframe. So very unlikable. So there's got to be some really critical decisions about Joe stepping down, Kamala stepping down, you know, big changes. I mean, all of these things are going to be talked about. Now, whether or not they actually happen, I don't know. But I do believe that the Democrat convention will be contested. And I think one of the people that will rise up on the stage will be Michelle Obama.
Wow.
And I think that Michelle Obama, by the delegates, the Democrat delegates from each of the states, will come in and they'll be driven to choose her. Because frankly, I don't know who else is out there. I don't know who else is out there.
Let me be careful on how I phrase this question. Is that the only? No, I'll say. Is that the only person that could beat Trump?
I don't think she can beat Trump. I just think that what they're going to do, if that happens, then I think we're looking at another election that's just going to be it's going to be.
And the reason. So here's the reason why I say that, because at this time it won't be believable if Biden. Right. This time people did. Y'all just. Excuse my language, y'all just fucking with us now. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just trying to do it in our face. But if Michelle goes in, then you can make a case where, some people, it'll be a fresher face. It'll be one of the Obamas. So I guess it will be kind of different. But this time around, people not going to believe it. You know, if this guy gets 90 million votes this time, nobody's buying. Nobody's buying what they're selling. Last question, General, please.
So that's a scenario, but that's so I just want you to know that what we just talked about there, that's a scenario. There are other scenarios that could lead to Biden stepping down, somebody else coming in. But I think one of the more likely scenarios that I've read about, heard about, spoken about is that scenario where Michelle Obama steps in and now all of a sudden, like the Democrat, she's going to be the savior of the country from this person that they've defined as essentially Hitler, right? I mean, it's crazy.
No, that's
sorry.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if she became the front runner. Like I said, you notice the trends on and the mainstream media starts to air her a lot more. Exactly. It's like, what does Michelle think? Then they came out with a movie they co-produced called Leave the World Behind. All these different things that they've been doing. They've been in the eye of the public. Last and final question: does Trump? Will we make it to a 2024 election? Because we've started this year off with just chaos everywhere in the world, our border. We've had chaos everywhere. Does Trump make it? Do we get a 2024 election, or do we get massive
Well,
lockdowns?
I mean, I pray that we do, but I am one of these guys that looks at when I analyze the situation, when I analyze the conditions, when I analyze the indicators and the warning signs that we have going forward. We already talked about the potential for war, a much greater war. We're in World War III right now. We just don't. It hasn't been declared as World War III. They haven't put a stamp on it.
General Flynn, you are saying that we are already in World War III.
Yeah, man, there's no doubt. I mean, with Europe, we have a major regional conflict in Europe. We have a major regional conflict in the Middle East. We have a major. These are military terms that people understand what I'm talking about. That put the idea of a greater war together. We have a major regional conflict going on our southern border. We have the potential for a major regional conflict building in the Pacific right now. So there's 4. We can only really function with maybe 2, right? That's why it stresses us. So back to your question about an election in 2024, scenarios, indications, and warnings. We have to look at the conditions on the ground. Will we have a 2024 election? I don't know. I can stand here and tell you that I can walk your audience through a scenario where we don't, because there's a declaration of a national emergency, because we're going to war or we're doing something crazy. I mean, this Mexican standoff that's going on down in the southern part of our country right now. What does that lead to? I mean, the declaration of a national emergency by our president of the United States is not unheard of. And what does that mean? What can it do? I want to stand here today and
It's going to be like what Zelensky did in Ukraine. Well, we're at war, so we can't have an election.
tell you, Lou, and your audience, that I believe we will have an election. I believe we will have an election. But you're asking me, is it possible that we don't? And I can say that I will, stand here and analytically, walk through a scenario that says, yeah, we probably that could actually happen. And I don't want it to, because that changes the dynamic of where we are as a nation, right? Now, as you just said, people are going to be like, well, wait a second, you ain't fooling me again. You fooled me once, I got it, but we're not going to be fooled again as Americans. And that's why we have so many people. We have Hispanics, we have the Black community, we have the Asian American community, we have the white community, we have all these, we have the evangelicals, we have all of these various communities that are jumping on the Trump train.
Yeah, I see you with the Trump Latinos, man. I see you.
Yeah, those guys are great. I love them.
So I listen. I see you embracing the different aspects of people that are coming in. I love that, because
with the way things are going, is there really any future any other way but with Trump? With the way that these war hawks want to just get us into every single war that they possibly can, as if they're just trying to make as much war as possible before they lose their war making abilities. That's just sad, man. It's just sad for our future, for our kids' futures.
I can't say that for everybody else. Like, there's been I would say would you classify yourself as a conservative?
Yeah, I mean, I am. I remember. I can also.
I know you were a Democrat, and I know
these too, but I'm pro-American. I'm pro-American.
There you go. Let's go, because what I've noticed is so-called conservatives are sometimes they could be a little standoffish when it comes to new people coming in. Like, we're interested about what you guys got going on over there, and that's what I love. I don't like the classifications of things like, oh, I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican. Right. I love America. I love what we got going on.
I don't care if you're pink with purple polka dots. It doesn't matter to me. And I learned this as a child, because that's the way I was raised. Around in a good family where it's like, it's like Martin Luther King. By the content of your character, right? And my time in the military, you don't get to where I got because you don't like a certain color of somebody's skin. It's hey, if you can meet the standard, you're on my team. And this is the way America needs to be. And I think you're absolutely right that the Republican Party and the quote unquote conservatives, they want you, but then they don't want you. You know what I mean?
What I've noticed is that, look, liberals, in my opinion, are that is crazy. Like these people, they're all about Trump antichrist. They're all about Republican supremacists, all this nonsensical stuff. But then you have Republicans that just feed into that. They have like their own victimhood mentality on the right as well. And I've noticed that, right? Because I come from the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I'm from the hood, but I'm not a victim. Like I am who I am. I work hard and I get to where I get to. And we got General Flynn on the show. You're killing it. But what I'm saying is, I've noticed that there's victimhood mentality everywhere, and I just think that the way to defeat that is by having the type of mentality that you have, which is that military mentality, man. I don't know how to explain it because I've met so many military men and women that that race doesn't come up. Like, bro, do you work hard or do you not work hard? In the words of David Goggins, like, wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so exactly. I love that, and I love the approach that you're taking. I love that you are embracing people like Trump Latinos. I love that you're embracing stuff that's new to people that support Trump, and I love that you're doing that, and I love that you're doing this because this right here. Like, I got a lot of people that watch me that never voted for a Republican before. We got a lot of people coming out to vote for President Trump. I'm even hoping that President Trump comes to the Bronx. So I think that's necessary. I think
he will. I think he will.
That would be insanely amazing. I would love to see you there, man. I would love to see our future vice president, ladies and gentlemen.
You're funny,
General.
We gotta vote for freedom, man. Don't ever forget what happened during COVID, the lockdowns, the masks, all the fucking bullshit, man. And those price of eggs. The prices of eggs. Look at what these fools have done to our country. Just remember all that when you go to vote. I can't afford $26 for a 6 dozen eggs. Pray for our country.
General Flynn, it's been an honor and a pleasure. And thank you so much for taking this time to come and talk to us. You don't understand how much this means to me. This is like life-changing stuff. I want to make sure that people follow you. Where can they get your articles? I know you write, and I know you are very passionate every day. Where can the people find you?
If you go to generalflynn.com, generalflynn.com, that's my website. On my website, you can find all my social media sites. You can see like this interview will get dropped on there. You can see articles that I have written. You can subscribe. You can subscribe to my newsletter. That right there is the front page because I got a movie coming out called Flynn, Deliver the Truth, Whatever the Cost. You can subscribe to that to get notifications on that movie. And all, in this case, all I'm asking for is, in fact, you can watch the teaser. Can you play the teaser?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
A minute.
All right, here we go.
Sounds rolling. All 3 cameras. We're good.
Is there any regrets that you have in life? I should sit here and say, I got a lot of regrets. But when I look back on my life and I understand the lives that were lost, I mean, I'm sitting here with you, and I can tell my story.
Former National Security Advisor, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, pleaded guilty today to lying to the FBI.
He was one of the most respected generals in the military.
He was, by definition, the most dangerous possible person for Donald Trump to hire.
Brilliant military career, serving 33 years.
Why was he being so elusive? Mike Flynn told the truth and faced life in prison.
That's badass.
Oh my God, I got the chills, bro. I got the chills. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So people they go to generalflynn.com, they can sign up for that, sign up for my newsletter, and they can figure out how to follow me. Or Lou, you just hit me up again and we'll come back on too, okay?
Oh, that'll be amazing. Once again, everything will be done in the description box below. General Flynn, Lou Valentino. God bless everybody. God bless America, and let's pray for a better 2024. General Flynn, thank you.
God bless you, buddy. Take it easy.
There you go, Lou Valentino. You can follow him on YouTube. That's General Michael Flynn. And this has been WITS News. Till next time.